and Nocturne is behind in CS on Shaco, which should normally farm out.
That's
just
true.
gonna have to ult away from there. So speaking of the CS gap, Seaborg also being really comfortable.
Yeah, Seaborg's doing very well in this. Oh my goodness.
Ulting exhaust comes out. Oh my goodness.
Joey's
got some moves.
Horn hasn't gotten sort of the ornaments online for most of the team.
It's not just that, it's the vision, and as they step out onto the red side vision, looks like Wash in a bit of a pickle here, getting run down. Yon stepping forward to push out Arbiter and Johnny Tsunami. The Orn ultimate goes a little bit wide, but they do find God X Anime. PJ Salt's on his own, trying to make his way out of this fight, but he's going to get pinned against the wall. Nothing left, and Joey
to this game. And as a sub, it's really hard to come in, and obviously the CS isn't great, but another big team fight.
Oh man, with the culling going down, but it doesn't find its targets. Paranoia goes through. The darkness makes it so hard for Wash to play their split fight. Yon need to commit that because they're not going to have Paranoia for this dragon, and I think that's going to be the opportunity that Wash is looking for. They find the pick onto Slowbro, who goes down right away. The shutdown Godex Anime zoning out the entire backline by himself, but a really huge disruption on the backline. PJ Salt's free hitting onto Crims. The charm goes out, and Ariri, I think he's going to clean this out. Only Johnny Tsunami is left alive, and Yon. And we are back loading into a very exciting match. This is going to be a match that will shuffle things up at the top end of the standings. We have on the blue side our Machine Overlords, Team Beat Boop, and on the red side, Wall Street Gamers, Trickle Down Economics. They have the power of Ronald Reagan on their side. And this is going to be super exciting because this is potentially a match that can affect not just these two teams, but hypothetically, if you were a UB fan, might affect whether or not UB can lock in first or not.
Yeah, so a TDE win sets us up for a three-way tie for first place, and then the tiebreakers get a little bit complicated, and there'll be some tiebreaker matches. A Team Baby win sets them up to get Soul first, UB to get Soul second, and TDE Soul third. So some playoff implications for sure. And we're getting into bans already. The Tom Tench ban from Baby is a little bit odd to me. The Kane ban is definitely targeted at Leaves. It's one of his most played. And the Hook champions are targeted at Antunes, who's not necessarily has the known for his big champion pool, but known for being effective at the ones he plays, and mostly plays Hook champions. So not necessarily sure what the Yone is for either. This is definitely an odd set of bans, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I'm a big fan of the boys in the red, and I do know Mizuza has been practicing him some Yone. So I think Team Beat Boop, they see that in the OPGG, they just don't want to deal with it, so they take it off the table, but a little thrown off because, like Victor still exists, Kale still exists, and Mizuza has shown a strong preference for those characters this season. And
exactly.
Vex is also re-enabled.
Dex is also enabled. It's also a Mizuza champion. He and New Wave Sunny are sort of the two big players of that one. So first pick Leona, given the support pool pinching that TDE is doing, that makes sense. Get the best one available that's left. But yeah, definitely surprising not seeing a Nunu or a Kale or a Victor ban, which is a lot of teams' blueprint for success against TDE. And I'll be interested to see which of those, if any, they decide to go for. Looks like they're going to block in Jinx first, and that is something that Ultravox has defaulted to this season. So Jinx and Ashe, definitely his favorites, so no surprises there.
Yeah, Jinx is not quite the queen of bottom lane that she was at the start of the FOF season, but still a really solid pick, reasonable blind, and doesn't really not really a big tell. And with the Victor follow-up, you have two really strong backline threats on the side of TD and really solid wave clear behind it too. I do wonder how Zenzen is going to slot in this comp. I believe that's his TK that's being banned because I don't think it's a Bob Joseph champion. So I wonder if Zenzen's going to be back on some other tank duty or maybe something like Kled to give his team the engage for Mizuza and for Ultravox to play off of.
And you can't see it, but I just did a double take because that is Zillion locked in for P Sweezy.
Ooh.
And not a champion we've seen.
Clock, man.
Yeah, a champion we've seen in FOF a little bit to this point, and a very good matchup into Victor, but sort of a tough pick to bring out if you're not familiar with it. So I can't wait to see how P Sweezy does. And that's going to be a Gragas top locked in for Zenzen in the top lane. Definitely the tank champion. He's been spamming the most in solo queue. So no big surprises there.
Yeah, I like Zillion as a champion. Lane matchup is great into Victor. I'm a little surprised why Zillion now. because it seems a little off theme with Misfortune. Like, you really want to be going for that AoE combo with Misfortune. So it's not bad. Like, you can still double bomb off of Leona ultimate. That's awesome. But I don't think of Misfortune as a character who really excels with additional move speed from Zillion. So I really expect to see from the jungle the top lock in some crazy bruisers that will really capitalize on the Zillion speed.
I totally agree. I think that we're going to see some big, beefy melee guys who can use the Zillion speed and the revive to their fullest potential. And you're going to see Leona going in with them, Zillion letting them go in, and it's just me Misfortune ulting from the back more than and enable the Misfortune type of comp. It's just going to be layer the bullet time with everything else. So
yeah, I think TDE is keen on that game plan because they're banning Camille and Volibear. Yeah, with Volibear, like normally Volibear is a meatball, but then with Zillion on your team, he turns into a bowling ball. So yeah, get rid of that guy. Electric Bear out.
And some Enchanter bans from Team Baby trying to prevent the engage coming through. And I think that makes a lot of sense because you've already shown the Leona Zillion and you're likely to pick melee champion. So banning the Morgana that can shut down the CC on the engage and the Janna that can reset the fight makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I agree totally. But there is also another pivot here because TDE can just handshake the engage, right? They can lock in an engage tank support. They can get engaged from the jungle, maybe in the form of, Leaves is not really known for playing true tanks, but there you go. That's Nunu. That's the one tank champion that he plays.
That is the one tank champion that he plays.
Yeah, I think TD sees these Enchanter bans and laughs, and they say, yeah, we don't need that. The cringe disengage. We want more guys to run into your guys, and we can have some melee on melee action.
And one thing I've been critical of TDE of this season, I'm relatively close friends with a lot of the players in that team, and I've told them this to their faces, so it won't be a surprise to them. But Kindred, what?
Finish it off. But I want to come back to Kindred later.
Okay, well, TDE has had a problem, I think. They're individually very good, but they haven't been able to play as a team, and I think that often comes down to their drafts, where they don't pick proactive champions, they pick reactive champions, so they can't enforce their will in the game. So picking these set of tanks here, I really like. But the Kindred Zillion, that is spicy. So that's I remember last seeing that with Blabber on Cloud9 playing the Kindred with Zillion, but definitely not something you see every day, and not something that Dax is, in my opinion, super known for. But I can't wait to see it because Kindred can go absolutely nuts and cannot die with a double revive.
All right, so we got a lot going on these last 4 picks. So the Nunu gets locked in to give that engage power, and you even get the attack speed steroid for Jinx later off the passive. It's great. And then Kindred Poppy. I'm not sure how I feel about this because Zillion Kindred is super awesome. You get the combo of the revive ultimates, so Kindred can live forever, and then you can bait someone in using Zillion ult. But that being said, like Zillion Kindred, you have great 2v2. Kindred uses the speed, but I'm a little worried that Team Beep doesn't have enough frontline to activate the Zillion and activate this Misfortune. They have Poppy, who's tanky, but not really like a true tank. She has some bruisery patterns and is kind of more damage oriented compared to, say, like Maokai or something, who has sustain and healing. I think Team Beep really needs to snowball to make this comp work. And on the flip side on TDE, I believe the Poppy was an attempted counterpick on the Gragas, but I think it's going to be Gragas support, and they're going to send Shen in the top lane instead, which is a little more pleasant than getting to play the Gragas, who gets stopped by the Poppy wall.
Yeah, Gragas and Shen can go top lane very easily, and Bob Joseph is crazy enough to play either one. So I'm looking forward to see which one he plays, and it is the Gragas support, you're right. But one thing I like the Gragas for, and maybe makes the Kindred pick a little bit worse, is the Gragas ult to knock people out of the Kindred ult can be very effective in these team fights. So definitely something to keep an eye on as we get into that phase of the game. But first, we have some interesting level 1 shenanigans going on.
Ooh, a little bit of action going on here. Jaffe and Dax, they're gonna slide out there, be Sweezy, checking the time, but gonna return to the middle lane. For the clock strikes midnight, and
the clock croc. Oh, so Goofy level 1. Well, nothing happens level 1. Yeah, I don't think anything happened. They just walked around.
Oh, Bob Joseph though, he's trying to make something happen. That's a ward onto the red buff. He slides out there body slam. Okay, okay. A little cheeky, a little bit of health trade on both sides, but overall nothing super consequential for lane. I think another thing to keep an eye out here is like I think Bob Joseph is the player to watch because, like you said, the Gragas cast can throw everyone out of the Kindred ultimate, and also it should cancel Misfortune ultimate in the 2v2 bottom lane. So that's potentially a really important interaction.
That's true. I think both supports this game are going to be really critical. I think these are the best two supports in the league. I think that's hard to deny. And they're both very aggressive players. Antunes especially likes to roam. He likes to shove in the lane, maybe get a gank or a kill and a Fibber reset and then affect other lanes. And Bob Joseph also can roam, but definitely prefers more to dominate the 2v2. So some slightly different styles coming in, but both very dominant teams. And in general, these teams are the best two early game teams we have in FOF, with both averaging a 1,000 plus gold lead at 15 minutes. Baby's actually averaging 3,000, which is ridiculous. So definitely the first 15 minutes are going to be critical here, and when you see some early trading already going down.
Well, there's the level 2 check by Ultravox. Bob Joseph doesn't result in a kill or a summoner spell, but they get a nice health advantage and wave control, so I think they're still happy with that, even though it's not the best case boobing kid scenario.
Yeah, and Kindred not full clearing topside, looking to invade maybe.
Oh, did Leaf see?
Yeah, there's a ping. There's a ping.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Dax is gonna try and bully Leaves off of red here. This is really interesting. Jaffe has so much control over top, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna be able to get away with this. Both mid laners rotating in. P Sweezy down on health.
He's here first though.
Yeah, I really like the baby setup here because they have the ban advantage from top lane, and they should be able to get away with this red. Leaves isn't going to give up without a fight.
Get the outsmite Nunu. Get the outsmite Nunu.
Oh, using the bush vision for control, so there's no steal possible. I mean, is it stealing if it's your red? It's like re-stealing? Is it like...
Well, it's not... It wasn't their red to begin with.
So it's like kind of like the repatriation red? Like the...
It's an expat red.
Okay. Anyway, top ground's going to go down to Dax. So overall, a pretty great start for Kindred. You get that early pressure, you leverage that dueling power, and Leaves is not really going to find anything on the bottom side of the map for him to farm except for bottom grab, which is fine, but this bottom lane is not really in a great position to gank because the wave's a little too stacked. You can get 3v2'd in that wave. And Zenzen in a bit of trouble, not playing around the vertical jungle, has to taunt out of there. Is he okay? He's wiggling back. That's a little scary, but whoa, okay, I guess he... pretty knife edge from both sides, but I guess Zenzen knows what's up. He jukes the flash out of Dax, so...
Yeah,
the discipline.
Oh,
Leaves, he's not done yet. He's looking for the crossbow. Lure gets hit by the snowball as it rolls into him. Bob Joseph looking for the follow, but I don't think there's anything here. I'm pretty sure there's no real kill attempt. They're just maintaining this brutal, disgusting freeze. So now Lure is going to be really sad because Ultravox is just going to park the wave here, constantly thin it, and they know that because of the vertical jungle that Leaves can come back at any time.
Definitely true. I think that was a really well-planned route from Dax. I imagine that was prepped with the entire team before the game because you saw Jaffe already had pressure. P Sweezy was trading his HP bar to get there first. So really intelligent plan coming in from the entire top side of Baby to make that red buff happen. And a good reaction from Leaves to try and turn it into a vertical jungle and get something back bottom, but well played by Baby to avoid that. And we still have no kills.
Oh, another freeze coming out of mid lane. I'm not sure if Mizusa can tank this wave, though. They're going to try and force P Sweezy's flash. They get it. Mizusa is out of mana, though, so I don't think he's going to be able to keep the wave here. We'll need a reset soon. But should not quite have enough mana or gold for Lost Chapter gold. Zenzen having to flash away from Dax. Very weird vertical jungle going on. I feel like both teams' weak sides are not respecting the jungle presence.
Definitely so.
And he's looking for P Sweezy. Mizusa's no mana, but it's just gonna click this guy down. The bomb goes through, but it's not. Oh, is it? Okay, not quite. Oh, wait, the cannon minion. Wait, Mizusa, relax. Okay. Mizusa making me sweat a little bit there, buddy. Now watch out for that minion aggro. He's a little and I think Jacob will be able to freeze that for him. Yeah, Lees will freeze the wave. Back to his raft. Wait, Mizusa, what?
Mizusa's not backing?
He's not backing.
What's he
Okay,
doing?
this could actually be really bad. This is something that could happen when you get a kill, and your opponent, especially if they have teleport, it's not up right now, but the concept is like, sure, you get the kill, you get the gold, but if you're trapped in a bad wave state, you're gonna lose almost as much when they crash the wave back on you, and you're not, you have to spend your gold. If you get the kill and you don't do anything with it, especially in mid lane, which is an ability-based lane, you'll just never be able to manage the wave ever again, and you'll end up losing more farm. So
He
Mizusa
did
has
get
to
the
back.
recall.
Yeah,
He's gonna lose a wave
so-
for it, but you see that he is already up
Oh,
2.5
no,
waves.
he was greedy for Lost Chapter Gold. I bet you he had exact gold for Lost Chapter. Oh, well, he has the Control Ward too, though, so that can't quite be it. I'm not quite sure why he chose to stay that long, but it is going to be punished a bit. We'll lose some of that farm, but still has a huge CS lead on P Sweezy just from being really active in trading.
But part of that also is because P Sweezy, ordered to make the red buff steal work, actually was missing some farm from the wave state.
Yeah, so he did kind of sacrifice his mid lane position. So Mizusa is doing a great job making up for that. So there's a little bit of an asymmetry here. Resources going to Dax, and then resources going to Mizusa on side of Baby and TDE, respectively. Oh, Pop Joseph. He's gonna wander an eye. Over at this mid lane.
First roam off, but this wave is slow pushing away from his AD carry, so his AD carry is missing a fair amount of farm for this.
This is an expensive roam, but they're going to try and convert into Dragon, so I think overall still worth, but Ultravox is maybe a little bit sad about the state of affairs, you know? It's like, hey, support. Like,
there's a blue ward on this. Dax sees it. He might try and go over the wall for a steal. Nope, he's going to smite red and not go for it.
Ooh, because this is possible to contest because Bob Joseph has been gone for so long, the wave controller is not there for bottom lane, but nothing goes through. TDE is going to pick up that first Infernal Dragon in the game, and they're very happy with that.
Yeah, and that's a big wave coming into Jaffe in top lane, so he's even in farm now, but he's going to be up a fair amount, assuming he can CS most of that wave. So a nice little advantage for this Poppy pick, despite getting the last pick surprise Shen counter pick into it. Jaffe's definitely playing well. I say that.
Ooh, he's kind of getting beat up by the Twilight Warrior. What's his name? The
aspect of Twilight?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The aspect of Twilight, not Twilight Warrior. What am I thinking?
That's Edward Cullen, actually similar, but not quite the same.
Okay. Yeah, similar. I mean, I just don't think of. I always forget that Shen's a ninja. He's like not a very sneaky ninja. Kind of like walks up to you and punches you with his sword.
Definitely not the James Bond of ninjas.
Yeah, for sure. He's like more of a, well, definitely not the James Bond ninjas there. Tax is almost going to get traded out by the Chaos Storm from Mizusa, but Jaffe's ultimate keeps him on the lifeline, on the edge of life. And Peace nice a great double bomb that's going to disengage this, and that's going to be the end of the play. Ooh, very nice pickup onto Zen. Not really sneaking around as ninjas should. And oh!
What a rocket! Really well done from Ultravox, sniping out where he thought the recall would be going through and getting that kill. That's a little bit lucky, but definitely the type of thing that gets you really hyped when you pull it off.
Yeah, really nice fit Ultravox. So he has the map awareness that. And part of why that works is because Ultravox had shoved the wave and he faded out into fog, so he gets that sniper missile from the darkness. So there's no opportunity to call it early. So I'm pretty sure the earliest notice they had of that missile was when it was crossing the crab vision.
Yeah, and that's hard to react to. Does it show on minimap? I feel like I should know that, but I don't.
I don't think it does. Like, I think if you have vision of it, it shows on the minimap. But I think if you're in fog, you don't see anything.
Well, someone could probably fact check us on that one, so we don't start spreading fake news. And
yeah, this is a truth-only zone.
Yeah, we don't want to become the 2016 election here. I am a big fan of this Kindred pick as a concept, but I have not seen it get a whole lot of marks yet. So definitely something to keep an eye on. You need 4 marks on Kindred to get the first bonus range increase. That's the big one, so you can actually team fight properly. And then every 3 thereafter. But you see here, the Gromp is the one that's marked, and Kindred's on the wrong side of the map. So Leave's doing a very good job of clearing his jungle efficiently so that the marks aren't spawned for very long, and he has a chance to take them all down before Kindred can.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that start with the early red invade, but there's no mark at that point. We're going to have to hold that thought as Zen in a bit of trouble once again, finds himself in a 3v1 situation. Although the inverse ninja law is on his side, it doesn't really turn out for him.
No, it does not. And despite those roams, Zillion's keeping the CS gap in mid pretty constant. So, lost a few waves early in the game, but definitely picking them up now. But we see a 4-man bottom.
Bob Joseph throws the cask. There's no knockback in, and Anton's looking to trade it back. The combo with Misfortune Ultimate, and Bob Joseph gets traded out. The wave is still alive, so they can threaten to dive Luru, but doesn't look like the play's over. Yeah, it is. It is. Play's over, but Baby not content to watch that Antunes die up for free. They're going to try to trade back plates in the middle lane. Zenzen committing his teleport to rescue this tower, but at what cost? He's losing farm in the top lane as well, and I think Baby is going to get the upper hand of this.
Yeah, definitely a favorable macro play for Baby, but the kill does go over to TDE. So, not a disaster by any means, but yeah, they weren't able to actually convert anything off of the kill, and they did lose a lot of experience in the farm in addition to the tower plates.
Zenzen, oh god,
That's
Zenzen's
brutal.
gonna wander into enemy territory. He thinks that this is his land, but little does he know. The enemies are already
came
here.
and claimed it away, and they're kind of brutal, even if they don't deserve it.
Oh, Mizusa having to cleanse out of Antunes' Solar Flare. There's reinforcements coming from both sides. He finds himself caught, flashes directly into Lulu, but Bob Joseph is there to help turn it around. Ignite is on a Mizusa, causing him to go down. Dax getting really low on the other side, but is invulnerable twice, a little bit early by P-Sweezy. But it's going to for sure keep Dax healthy. Bob Joseph now trapped in the 1v4 and will eventually go down. No, Zenzen trying to turn this play around, but there's no allies in sight. Leave's going to try and turn this around. Ultravox finally, the cavalry has arrived and they're looking for the Jinx reset. There's so many low health bars, but there's just not quite enough front line to turn this around. Ultravox wiggling at the edge, but Leave's caught by the Leona, trying to turn around. Jinx Rocket goes through, but oh man, overall a huge win for Baby. There's almost nothing traded back by TDE.
That was a fantastic fight out of Baby, just collapsing faster on all sides, and that's just the power of a numbers advantage. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Zenzen, it's a rough one for our boy in the top lane. A rough start, receiving a lot of jungle attention, getting trapped there in the weak side jungle. And now really struggling to stay relevant in this 1v1. We'll always have that ultimate to join fights. That's something you can't take away from Shen, but it's going to be really hard for him to both maintain pressure in the side lane and show up with reasonable health for team fights now.
Yeah. Now, I do want to point out that Mizusa is a big fan of his CS per minute. He's a previous AD carry player, and so that's something he prides himself in. And he's up a lot of farm in the mid lane, but the main CS to watch here is actually in the bot lane, where Luru and Ultravox have been farming up a storm, and Luru in particular is incredibly strong on this Misfortune at the moment. Finished the Mythic, got the Eclipse already, most farm in the game, 2 kills, no deaths. Definitely going to be a very strong thing to reckon with in these team fights, and you have so many melee champions on the side of TDE that have to walk into this Misfortune ult that it's going to be tough.
Yeah, they really have their work cut out for them. I think in terms of like pure late game 5v5, I still like the TDE comp, but they might not get to that point. Ultravox getting locked up by the Leota, trying to get away. Great cleanse, and Antunes pushing out under the tower. Bob Joseph looking to turn around. Oh, a wonderful stopwatch, but oh, the shutdown on the Dax. Ultravox picks up 2 with the double kill. Lulu is still alive, channeling the ultimate, but Ultravox and Bob Joseph coming out huge. 2 kills, double kill in the 2v3. Mizusa not done yet, looking to find a kill of his own in the middle lane. Maybe force out the ultimate from P-Sweezy. Chrono Shift does go through. Cillian will come back to life. But wow, TDE, they're not out of this game yet by any means. Huge shutdowns all getting funneled over to Ultravox.
Yeah, that's exactly the place you want your shutdowns to go. This Jinx is going to be one of the main ways that you can get through this beefy Poppy and Leona, and you're going to have to get through potentially one of them twice or 3 times with the Kindred ult and the Zillion ult. So a huge place to put gold, and a little bit of a botched dive there from Team Baby. Antunes trying to juggle the tower aggro with stopwatch, but the tower is already heated up, and Kindred cannot tank the tower for very long. So a little over aggressive, but I like the look. They're trying to snowball their lead. Kindred does want to take control of the game and play quickly, so I can see where they're coming from. But yeah, it didn't work out, and really well played by Bob Joseph and Ultravox.
Yeah, that does kind of take me back to the draft, where I don't think that Baby is a bad draft by any means, but they do have to be really careful about how they play around their win condition. They don't have some like mega engaged champion like Zach, who can just go in no matter what the game state is. They do actually have to stay ahead and play clean, because if you get a situation where you need to force engage and drag your Misfortune and your Kindred into fights, that's not really pleasant when they have to run through the chompers, the gravity field. Oh, they find Mizusa. Cleanse goes through and is going to turn that around to Antunes. He slides back onto Leaves, but a great cancel onto Luru means that there's no opportunity to DPS. Sweezy also zoned out, but there's a choke point here. Maybe watch the double bonds. Mizusa picks up the kill onto Luru. It looks like TDE trying to disengage this one because the full team of Baby has arrived. Dax looking on the side, gets stunned out, does not get a chance to Lance Respite. One shot through the crowd control. Great spacing by Mizusa to control that fight, and Zenzen, he shows up to turn this fight around, and wow, we're just 5v5 in mid lane for no objective. The mid tower is in TDE's sights. Lee's channeling his snowball. Oh, can Baby get their way out of this one? Jaffe, you're like 1 HP. Mizusa picking up another kill. Flash Force out. P-Sweezy double flash from Ultravox. And Bob Joseph, the bottom lane, picks up another kill for themselves. P-Sweezy going down. TDE, they now find themselves to the 2k lead.
Huge set of plays there out of TDE, and if you're Baby, you sort of have to take a deep breath, slow the game down. You just made a bunch of mistakes, and you need to, reset, stop going in, stop, making these plays in an uncoordinated fashion, because, like you were saying, they don't actually have a beefy team. They're trying to cheat their lives with the Kindred ult, they're trying to cheat their lives with the Zillion ult, and you can't do that if you're not all together in a death ball, coordinated, and using those ultimates well. So if you're using Zillion ultimate to save a Leona, that's not where you want to be. You're not using it proactively. You're not using it after someone's blown their rotation. You're just using it to delay the fight a few seconds. But the cooldowns are coming back up pretty quickly for TDE's comp. So, yeah, really, really well played. Good channel on the Victor to keep him alive, and TDE has an advantage for sure.
Yeah, I think the start of that fight is totally fine for Baby, because Indians got such a great start, and I think they just overfight a little bit too much. They bite off a little more than they can chew, and I think if they play perfectly, they can keep fighting, but they need to get perfect Chrono Shift and perfect Lamb's Respite. So the problem is that because everyone was kind of split apart, Dax died before he could drop Lance Respite, and that totally turns the fight on its head. Because Dax gets that, it's a different fight entirely.
I want to point out real quick that even though the gold is pretty close, a small edge for TDE, the biggest deal is where that gold is, as we see Bob Joseph.
Oh, they get the bullet time out of Misfortune. Luru is fine. It's fine. We're good. False alarm. Dragon's starting to spawn now, but without bullet time, I don't like Baby's chances for challenging this one. I think they for sure just give. They get farm on the map. Yeah, I think they're content to give that one away and just trade back.
As I was saying, though, the gold is on TDE, is on their carries. It's on their Victor, and it's on their Jinx. 7 of their 9 kills are there. And it's a little bit more spread out for Baby. And that's not terrible, but it does mean that this 2k gold lead can look worse than it actually is. As we see Jaffe diving Zenzen.
Oh, Zenzen's a little stuck here. Dax is not going to let him out of this one. Maybe his dog feel. Oh, it's on flash on the turnaround. Lance Respite comes out in the last second, but it also keeps Zenzen alive. But with the fall of the tower, I don't think there's a trade kill. Oh no! Jaffe overchannels his ultimate and says he's going to casually walk away from that one. That is really unfortunate. That was probably not what Jaffe was going for there.
No, he must have been trying to just tap it and held it down too long. I don't know what else he could have been going for, but yeah, unfortunate poppy ult. But they still get the tower, which is honestly the bigger gold swing. So not a huge loss. But yeah, part of the thing to note is that Baby has put a lot of time and effort into putting Zenzen on the Shen behind, and they've done it. He's down 30 farm or so and hasn't finished Mythic yet, but ultimately he's just a tank. And we need another fight though.
Speaking of tanks, I don't think Bob Joseph is that tanky. He is on a support budget. Does go down at the start of the fight. Not much being traded back. Only the Solar Flare from Leona, which is a low cooldown. Dax looking to continue his pursuit, but gets chunked out by the laser beam from Mizusa. Jaffe on flight, huge stun onto Ultravox, forced to cleanse, Gale Force away. Ultravox is kiting for his life, but Jaffe's on his tail. Mizusa looking to get flanking damage with the laser, but is going to be trapped back behind his turret. Can he 1v5 his way out of here? It looks like they're going to leave Mizusa alone. Instead, they have their sights on Leaves, who's trying to farm his wolves during these desperate times. Dax looking to convert the kill. Jacob is forced flashed away. Leaves lives with his life. Whoa, okay, this is
both of these
coaster.
Both of these teams really want that top seed. They want to get to playoffs. They want to get their hoodie merch to see all the currently available FOF champion hoodies. But yeah, they are not willing to back down from any fights, and this game could go any direction. And I have a feeling it's going to be lasting for a little while yet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm a little speechless. I thought for sure that TDE was like, oh, TDE has this, and then I was like, no, Baby has this one, and then I'm like, okay, no, TDE is, they got this game in the bag now. They have the dragon lead, and then now I'm like, I don't know. I kind of like Baby's chances again. Bob Joseph finds a great ultimate on Dax. His Lazarus Fight available. It is not. Shutdown going over to Leaves, and
Is that Baron?
Dax is having a hard time even staying in his jungle right now. There's not enough vision control.
Jungler is dead. This could be a Baron angle. You have Nunu for the secure.
But Ultravox is really far away.
Oh, that's true.
It's a little bit dangerous. I don't think they're going to opt for it. They're just going to be happy taking the vision control, but it could end up setting up for a Baron in the future.
That's true. They definitely get control of the river here. They see Jaffe running through. They're not going to go on him.
Leaves, hide in the bush. Maybe going for a James Bond play.
Oh my goodness. So many James Bonds on the Rift.
Taking out those cameras.
Very important. Anyone who's ever played a stealth game knows.
Yeah, you know, what's that stealth game you played? Like, what's it called? Hitman?
Hitman.
That's basically a James Bond game.
It's basically a James Bond game. That's true. I'm a big James Bond fan, even if it doesn't have James Bond in the game title.
Yeah.
Fantastic puzzle assassin game. Recommend it to anyone who's looking to take a break from League of Legends. But we're not taking a break from League of Legends right now. We're watching Dax clear his Raptors. Look at him go.
He's getting that money. 45 gold. Let's go. Money in the bank. Zen battling the Krugs, maybe a more worthy adversary for him. At his current itemization, he is going to get his mythic finish though, and I think he's going to be much happier interacting with champions with that done. Yep, Sunfire Cape.
I wonder how many.
Some action. Nah, we're good. Oh wait, Bob Joseph. He's going where no man has gone before. Finds himself stunned, but it's Dax who's also stunned on the back end. Zoned out. P-Sweezy staying with his jungler. The speed is too much. They can't catch Dax. Leaves is isolated on his own, getting kited out by the ranged champions, and TDE needs to regroup. They need to reform the battle lines. They throw the Shen ultimate onto Leaves, but the fight is already over. Zen is making sure his jungler's alive, but this is going to be a big loss of tempo without someone to manage the top lane. We're 5v5 in mid lane once again.
Despite that fight being incredibly chaotic, they didn't actually blow very many ults or summoners on both sides. They blew Gragas Exhaust ult, Shen ult, and Leona Flash ult. That was it. So they still have everything up. There's another fight here for either Dragon or for Baron, so wouldn't be surprised to see more action break out.
Alright, looks like Luz doesn't respect the Barons right here and is just going to happily control the bottom side vision and trust his team to poke them off. I think he has enough vision. They do know that Baron isn't started yet. Leaves looking for the flank. I don't know how I feel about this. TDE is really split out, but I don't think they're actually looking to fight. I think they're just pretending to be looking for action. I think they're just going to rotate straight to the dragon after this.
Yeah, I think they just want to make sure that they don't give up Baron in exchange, and then they're going to have Nunu solo the dragon.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I think this is pretty reasonable hold for TDE. They have a lot of disengage tools. They have the range advantage onto the Jinx autos. They have the range advantage on Victor combo. And Baby forced in a desperate situation, it's do or die. They need to start the Baron. They're looking for a fight. Jaffe trying to turn off, but no, the disengage from TDE is too good. They're playing footsies too well. And without the full vision control, oh man, TDE gets the dragon. Baby's looking for something. It needs to be now or never. Leaves us on the way. Oh, Misfortune bullet time. Great play, but Jaffe pushes Zen out to safety. Leaves is here. The cavalry has arrived. Bob Joseph on the flank, but completely out of mana. Leaves sent out by the Poppy ultimate. And Jaffe, he's low. He's protecting his backline. Lure's still healthy, though. Double 80 carries, not something you can underestimate with both the Kindred and the Misfortune. Wow, we're really going to have nothing after all of that? Oh, wow, huge cooldowns traded, but no one goes down.
Yeah, TDE is just going to take the dragon and not push further. I think Baby overforced that Baron. They knew they couldn't get dragon control back. TDE had a position on them. I think that they just need to realize that it's not possible to get anything else and just maybe push for top inner there. But they instead try to force the Baron, trying to get either a pick from a swift rotation or just the Baron itself for the dragon. But Baby just plays around the Baron take too well. They're tanking the Baron and trying to fight. It ends up not working out. Antunes does go down, trying to make something happen, but overall, just I feel it's a little bit too desperate. I mean, I don't think Baby needs to be going for plays that are quite that desperate quite yet. I think they're still in a fine spot in this game. They still have plenty of AoE damage with this Misfortune. They still have, a bunch of ways to outplay the opponent's cooldowns with the Zillion and Kindred. So I think they can just look to play a little bit slower and more cautiously and try and set up the perfect fight.
Yeah, I think especially with both these team comps, like both teams have really great disengage. It's really hard to run into Jinx Victor. It's also really hard to run into Misfortune Zillion. So I think with that in mind, the team that engages first is a little bit at a disadvantage. Kiting back is really the game plan for both of these team comps. And I think we're coming a little bit of Baby's comps coming back to haunt them here. They're trying to force really hard off the turn, but they don't have the true engage, the long range go button. They have Leona ultimate, sure, but it's hard to get like a 5-man Leona ultimate to start a fight. Jaffe can't really afford to flank because they need him to protect backline. And because, Baby, they don't have the best engage ever and they also have no poke, they're getting stuck where they're just getting lasered out over and over again by Mizusa and they can't build an advantage for their river control.
Yeah, definitely this is not sort of Baby's normal type of draft. And I don't think it's a bad draft, but you can see that they're not fully comfortable with it all the time. They're trying to make these plays that with a more proactive set of champions would be great plays, but with the set of champions, doesn't quite work and they end up bleeding members off. Jaffe is getting some nice side lane pressure off, but ultimately it's a Shen. He'll be fine. He'll maybe lose some farm, but this is more interesting.
Oh, Lees finds someone under the tower piece. He's going to limp away. Does he have Chrono Shift available? Yes, he does, but it looks like he's trying to save it for Dax, who is in some trouble. Lancer Spike does go through this time. The heal will finish. Is there a Chrono Shift? No, P-Sweezy isn't able to get close enough to save his comrade's life. And meanwhile, Zenzen getting beat up on the other side, but I don't think Jaffe can really threaten the tower in a meaningful way. Zenzen just going to heal, has teleport, has ultimate available, and it's TDE this time who starts the Baron. They are doing it on the crab, but there's just no one around to stop them. Oh, well, yeah, maybe Luru and Antunes, they're looking. Bob Joseph flashes over the wall. Teleport coming out from Zenzen. Bob Joseph, great ultimate. They force the double flash and they still find Antunes. Antunes is dead for sure. No way to get out of that one. And now it's Luru's turn to look for a way out, but gets killed in his own bullet time. They stop the Baron, but I think TD can just go back once more.
That was a really impressive turn. Yes, you missed the Flash Gragas body slam, but it doesn't matter. You just need to get out of the pit on top of the people challenging you as quickly as possible. And TD does a great job to pick up 2 more kills. Dax is back alive, but he can't get here in time, so this should just be a pretty clean Baron take for TDE.
Yeah, TD is going to capture the Baron. This is starting to look more like a Hitman game than a James Bond game, if you'd ask me, Josh.
That's true. It's really getting a little bit one-sided here.
Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of sneaking, but I feel like it's mostly just brutal execution. There's bullets flying, guns blazing.
But maybe it's
you change your outfit and they can no longer tell who you are.
It's true. I think it's Valorant though. That's the game where you're really always going at it.
It's a lot of guns in Valorant.
Speaking of which, make sure to check out the upcoming FOF Valorant test tournament. Check out the website for more details. Also, check out the merch and magazine, !merch, magazine.
Yeah, a great way to stay in touch with FOF in and out of the game. There's a really vibrant community going on. A lot of people losing thousands of channel points every day. So definitely stay in tune with the community. Don't be a stranger. Join us in the chat for our dank memes and coffee pastas.
It's a great place to offload your crippling gambling addiction.
Yeah, perfect. If you need a high-stakes environment to really test your mettle. Speaking of high-stakes environment, we have the Soul potentially going over TDE. Baby's not really in a position to challenge, and it's really hard for them. Bob Joseph solo zoning the entire roster of Baby, and they're looking for action, but the Dragon's already dead. I think TDE should just be able to disengage this on their own terms if they wish to do so. They have that Cloud Dragon move speed. Meanwhile, Zenzen continuing to push the bottom lane, and has stayed incredibly relevant despite his weak early start, absorbing tons of pressure from Baby's team. Now is that full tank Shed, has 2 armor items, and with Zillion as the solo magic threat, I'm pretty sure Zenzen's nearly indestructible.
I do like this from Dax, though. He realizes that this Baron push is going to be really hard to stop, so he instead goes for counterplay down mid and just trying to get as much gold back as possible, and he forces Victor back to match him, which I think is a fantastic play, and he might even win this 1v1. Oh my goodness!
That's huge! That's going to take so much wind out of the TDE Baron power play, and Dax looking to take an inhibitor by himself. Baby looking to fight to stop the recalls. Bob Joseph getting incredibly low. Antunes running out of health. They don't throw the Chrono Shift in time. Jaffe going incredibly low. Chrono Shift does get forced out now, but Dax, he's continuing to wail on the mid inhibitor, a little bit low on health, but TDE, maybe they're looking for more. They're fighting, but Bob Joseph completely out of mana. Leaves, goes down. Ultravox still alive, free hitting, looking for the next reset, but Zenzen lips away from the fight. Dax finally comes. Wait,
No, he
was
executed.
Dax.
Dax
He
executed to the
executed.
minions.
Oh no, that's a disaster. It doesn't look like TD is going to end off of it, but if Dax makes it home, he can eventually have turned that fight. I wondered where he went to because I saw he had a sliver of HP, but he should have been able to recall. Super unfortunate by Dax, but you know, it's easy to be watching the fight on the other side as you're channeling. So close.
I think he just didn't have any lifesteal, so he was just trying to finish the inhibitor
you're
regardless.
right. Yeah, that's a huge consequence of the patch, actually, with Ravenous Hunter removed, with the Lifesteal rune in Legend Bloodline being nerfed. If you don't stop for lifesteal itemization, there's way less ambient healing in this game. And if we take a look at Dax's items, he has to go Kraken Slayer. He needs Wit's End to not get bursted out by Leaves and by Mezuzah. He needs the Lord Doms because his team doesn't have a big magic threat, and there's like armor stacking tanks, and there's no room for lifesteal in this build.
Yeah, so I definitely really well played to take out Mezuzah, but took a lot of his health to do it, and took the last of his health to take the inhibitor with the minions there. So probably a worthwhile trade. Yeah, with his dying breath, he takes the inhibitor. A worthwhile trade for sure, but definitely a little bit unfortunate for his KDA.
Yeah, it's a little ironic, you know, like Kindred is the death god.
But sometimes they die.
Yeah, like, is that allowed? I feel like that goes against the lore.
That's true. But no one reads the lore, so it's fine.
What? Wait, are you telling me you don't read the deep and compelling lore of Runeterra?
No.
Like, how are you supposed to get immersed in League of Legends if you don't know about all the characters' tragic backstories? For example, Zillion witnessed the collapse of a civilization or something. That's in his backstory.
What is Nunu's tragic backstory?
I don't know. They changed Nunu a bunch of times. I have no idea what Nunu does in Runeterra anymore.
Well, I guess Nunu just doesn't matter, and we should continue not paying attention to him at all.
Yeah, I mean, like, does Nunu still drop only one soul for Senna, or is it two?
No, he drops 2 souls for Senna.
Drops 2? Okay, so it's confirmed by Riot, Nunu is a person, Willump is a person.
Correct. They are 2 people.
2 people, 2 persons. They have personhood.
And Senna counters them.
Yeah, you get so many more souls. So many stacks!
So many stacks. Alright, back to the game. We still have Soul for TDE, which is a lot of movement speed. And they still have a decent gold lead. And they're going to be playing for this Baron here in a minute. P-Sweezy.
Oh,
Okay,
he's a little
he's too
far.
fast.
He's good. He's fast. He's got his Heelys. He's speeding out of there.
He's fast. He's furious. He's the ninth sequel.
What were they called? Heelys, wheelies. That was like a big thing in the
Yeah, it was Heelys
the
with
early
the heel wheel.
2000s. Yeah. Dude, I always wanted them, but my mom thought they were a scam, so I never got to get them.
I got
missed
them,
out.
but I got the off-brand one, so I wasn't cool.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
But anyway, they get you around the map really fast, just like Zillion.
Just like Zillion.
Maybe a merch idea for the future.
Yeah, when did the FOF Heelys
That's what
come
branded
through?
Heelys. That would be kind of dank. I'd buy those.
But until they come out, exclamation mark merch to see what merch is available. We have some nice shirts and hoodies up for sale, and some enamel pins.
Ooh,
Get those while they're hot.
pins.
Pre-order ends this Saturday, so get them while you can still pre-order.
All right, make it in time. Well, it looks like Baby's going to challenge this Baron, which I think is important. If they lose that, it's basically lights out for them. But unfortunately, they're losing so much on the bottom side of the map due to Zenzen's pressure. They're looking for the engagement. Bob Joseph just warding them out. Leaves, looking to turn around and challenge this. Yeah, Baby, they're getting the fight that they want, but they just don't have the damage, and they're getting zoned out. Misfortune bullet time, huge by Luru, but they just have no way to keep TD interested. TD is just happy to dance back and forth. Oh, P-Sweezy disconnected is...
You're still
Looks
moving.
like P-Sweezy's moving. We're good. False alarm. But yeah, it's so tough for Baby because they have these tools, they have these spacing techniques, but they just have no way to make TDE fight them.
They're going to
Oh,
keep
here we
trying,
go.
though. And they've recalled Jeffy, but he has teleport. So Shen ult is ready, teleport is ready.
Yeah, but teleport's gonna take so long compared to the Shen ultimate. Oh my goodness, huge damage from both sides, and honestly, this is a huge effect of the patch. It's just like there's so much less lifesteal and healing in the game. This poke really sticks.
Okay,
And
but
Zeus,
Baby is giving Baron. They're going to go do Elder Dragon on Swan.
This is huge. I love this by Baby so much.
Yeah, this is a great play. They realize they can't force in, and if they can burn this in time, and it looks like they can, there's no way TD can fight them with Elder. Elder is way stronger than Baron in this straight up 5v5, and this is going down.
so close. Can Leaves get the steal? Oh, Elder Dragon, this could be terrible for TDE. They're gonna get executed. Leaves bursted instantly, and his HP Zen having to flash away. Wow, great discipline by Baby and great foresight. This is exactly what we were talking about in the previous match when we were watching AWE, and like such a big concept in League of Legends is you take what's free, you take what's given. Don't be greedy, and if you can't stop them, don't. Take something else.
And yeah, Baby does that perfectly, and now they have Elder, so it doesn't last quite as long as Baron, but it is the stronger 5v5 buff. They might not be able to push very effectively because they'll be against Baron waves all the entire time, but it definitely buys them enough time to last out the Baron for sure. And this game is going to go late, and it's a banger.
Yeah, we're already securing the 6th dragon of the game, so it's only one more until it's Yubi time. And yeah, maybe they're even going to take the inhibitor with the Elder Dragon. I don't think TD can stop this.
They can't stop the inhibitor, but they should be able to wave clear well enough to stop the Nexus turrets going down, I believe. So maybe they'll lose another outer or two, and they'll get some gold back on the side of TDE so that they can... Oh, okay. Yeah, but they'll get some gold back. Objective bounties are still on, and they are still trying to finish out their item builds. Dax finally does have lifesteal, so anybody who wants to finish looks like a Bork, and then maybe an Infinity Edge last item. Luru's looking to buy some more lethality. So definitely still trying to finish out their builds, but yeah, they're not going to be able to get any kind of game-ending pressure here.
Yeah, they're just happy taking some towers here. They do have objective bounties available, so don't forget that. Baby's actually getting a ton of gold off of this. Ooh, that dude's careful.
Watch Zenzen in the bottom lane here, though. He's going to get an inhibitor.
Yeah, he has Baron buff too. Baby needs to coordinate their recalls, but I don't think TD is going to let them. Oh, they're continuing to challenge the top recalls. Yeah, I think Baby will narrowly get out, but it's close. Oh, Jaffe gets canceled by Mizusa. P. Sweezy turns around to help his teammate. Dax coming out over the wall. Remember, Baby still has Elder Dragon. Jaffe sends out Rob Joseph and leaves, getting isolated. There's so many skirmishes all over the place, but Mizusa is able to convert and take the kill onto Dax. It looks like TDE, even against Elder Dragon, is pulling the other team apart and fully leveraging the power of Shen. Zenzen making a huge statement this game. It says, doesn't matter if you camp me, doesn't matter if you sent me down 0-3, weak side top. He's going to be relevant no matter what. That's the Zenzen special. He's the rock in the top lane.
Yeah, Baby recalled 2 members to match Zenzen, and so Zenzen says, okay, you have 2 people here. That means that we can take a 5v3 if I ult out. And so, yes, you have Elder and Baby, but 3 members just does not beat 5. It's basic mathematics. And so now we have TDE is going to get another inhibitor, it looks like.
Oh, wait, Elder Dragon is still on for a little bit longer. There's not quite the conversion. Whew, it's so back and forth. TDE wants to keep going, but I think they're just running out of resources. Bob Joseph running out of mana, Mizusa running low on health, so I think Baby's going to have a moment of respite as they push the super minions out of their base. The next big objective is Baron and Dragon spawning in around the same time in 3 minutes. That double objective spawn could get another exchange.
Yeah, no, both buffs have just worn off, so we're at the phase of the game where we're going to do nothing for a few minutes. Everyone's going to farm up, get some items, and then they're going to pick the objective they want to go for. Typically, most teams value Elder Dragon higher because it is that stronger 5v5 dragon, and so you can't really force a Baron siege if they can just fight you. You can definitely play with some split pressure and some clever map movement with Baron against the Elder. It's definitely not a lost cause. And I think that if I'm TDE, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself that I just have the better front to back team fight at this point in the game. And so I don't care which objective I get as long as I get to fight at it.
Yeah, right. They're just looking for that 5v5. And, all this talk about Elder Dragon compared to Baron reminds me of this other really high quality game, chess. It reminds me of this concept, in chess where, like, you have your different pieces and you can be, like, up the exchange. It's like a chess concept, right? Where you exchange a minor piece, like a knight or a bishop for a rook. And, usually the rook is better, but, there's some situations where you can finagle and it's like, oh, actually, this rook is useless. It's trapped behind all the other pieces. It's not active. So I feel like Elder and Baron are kind of similar. Like, usually you want Elder, but it depends a lot.
Exactly.
The situation.
If you can force them into a spot where they're defending passively under their towers and you're split pushing them, then they can't utilize the fighting power, and you're happy with Baron. So, but definitely a little bit before, and TDE is trying to keep pressure on here. this pressure is mostly...
He's pulling the trigger. Sword Flare goes through. Mezusa is caught, then leaves, channeling a huge ultimate, but Bullet Time also at the same spot. Lulu kills Bob Joseph instantly, but the reset is gone through. Ultravox is clicking them down, but Dax, with the Lance Respite, has to force out of his zone. Goes down instantly. P-Sweezy trying to kite it out, but it's Zen taking the tower. The rest of his team is crushing it, and Ultravox going in for the cleanup. This is going to be the end of the game. TDE closing this one out in a 40-minute slugfest. We only need 6 dragons this time. They are going to explode the Nexus.
I was going to say that they're not actually looking to fight here. They're just looking to keep pressure so that they can maintain vision control for the objectives. But they actually they do fight there and they win. So looks what I know. See, it shows what I know. I know absolutely nothing. Apparently,
I think Antunes was the one who actually pulled the trigger in that last fight, and I think maybe they do need to fight because if the game continues like this, they're going to get pulled apart. They're going to get torn over by the pressure that Zenzen exerting on the map. So Antunes finds his moment, he finds his engage, and they're just not quite able to convert the kill because of that double cleanse on both carries by the side of TDE, really coming in clutch in these late game fights. TDE able to cinch that one out and dictate the game to their composition. They get these 5v5s, they get these team fights, and Baby is not able to snowball with their early game team.
And that sets us up for a big tiebreak at the end of the season. Thank you very much for listening to this game. That'll be it for Civil Lock and I'm a Utility Monster, but we have an interview with Zenzen coming right up and 2 more games after, so don't go away. While during the break, maybe check out the magazine or the merch, Exclamation Park Magazine, Exclamation Park merch. See you soon.
Ça faisait un tout vraiment magnifique. Hello, folks. Chris Edgeworth here with our second interview of the day, and I'm joined by Zenzen of the Victorious Trickle Down Economics. How are you feeling?
I am on the edge of my seat, Chris. I am feeling so good after such an intense back and forth. Like, ooh, that's what I play FF4, man. So good.
It was a sweaty sweater of a game, man. That was awesome. I felt like it was good. I know I was razzing you a little bit in the break, but it was good to see a back and forth match throughout, a long match. It was interesting, good plays from both sides. And let's set the table then for this match because the draft already delivered. Very interesting. With on your side, you folks played a little game with your vaunted Gragas, which you yourself are well skilled on and well known for. Flexing around though and putting you on the Shen, putting Gragas in the bot side for Bob Joe. What are your feelings? What are your thoughts on the draft that you folks put together? And I didn't even mention you guys had a Nunu game here. So what are your thoughts? What are your feelings on the draft you folks wanted to come into this game with and what you ended up against?
Yeah, going into Baby, we looked at this team and we thought we have a lot of respect for Antunes. He'd been tearing up the rift on these hook champions, being able to roam around the map. And so we went into the game knowing that we were going to ban those three, just slam them out of the way. And then prior to today, we actually spent a fair amount of time doing some draft prep for this match. And we suspected that they might B1 Leona because it's Antunes' fourth most comfortable character and he's really powerful in those roaming supports. And then credit to Bob Joseph, he had the brilliant idea of the R3 Gragas to bait a counter pick because Gragas is great into Leona. You can body block the E as she goes in. Really powerful lane counter, especially once they lock Misfortune as well. You know, that cast can just disrupt the ultimate very easily. So I have to give credit to my team just really like working together to finish out a solution. We thought it was a little bit surprising that Baby let us play our most comfortable AD and mid with Jinx and Victor, but I was thankful for it. Prashant, Mizuza, excuse me, just absolutely smashed mid lane in terms of a CS differential, and I think it was essential to our success.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a team diff. I felt throughout most of this game. Not that Baby isn't good on any other day, but in this scenario, on this matchup, on this day, looks like you folks really showed up and had their number. But they put a lot of resources into the top side, trying to put you in a little bit of top side hell. Not the vaunted top side island where you get to just do your thing up there. This was a full-on gunning for your head, unfortunately. I mean, that's the way you played the Shen, I guess, is that if you want to put him down, you're going to have to play to where the Shen is, because if you play away from the Shen's just going to show up there anyway. So this was their plan. Put you down early, but at the end, the numbers don't lie. Your CS is back up ahead of Jaffe's. So what was your experience like in this game, playing out this Shen matchup in the top side?
Yeah, so Shen is a pretty decent Poppy matchup, at least numbers wise. I don't beat Poppy in like the straight one-on-one, but I can hold Poppy there for a long time, and Poppy can't do a whole lot to stop me from ulting out. Credit to Team Boop Boop where it's due. They played incredibly aggressively around Dax's Kindred, and I thought that was a brilliant choice by them. It made the game much harder than we anticipated it to be. Looking at this draft, we felt like we had kind of checkmated them, but they played to the top side so consistently, and were so aggressive about getting priority for those early Kindred marks. It really took us by surprise and set us down. Despite us grabbing almost every objective, getting every single dragon and being able to stack and have like a very powerful Jinx in the mid game. So I think that they played to their outs admirably. Unfortunately, they just weren't quite able to connect in some of those crucial team fights. And that was the difference maker. I also want to give a shout out to my team for playing extremely disciplined this game, because it was a difficult game to navigate. We don't have a ton of practice with me on a split pusher on the regular. Usually I'm that big frontline team fighty guy, but huge credit to Bob Joseph and Mizuza for stepping up and making sure that we knew exactly when we needed to fight and when not to, because that I think solved the game for us.
I do want to touch on that point, I guess, for one of the major plays that we saw in this game, and it was the possibility that Baby maybe could have dragged themselves back into this game. I did want to mention they were at 7-2, I want to say, in the early game. Their invade on your side is red. You had been poked out in lane, so they did have this lead. You folks fought back into the game, and then it was your game to lose at this point. You folks opt into the Baron. Don't have vision on the Elder Dragon. They decide, okay, this is our opportunity. They move on down to the Elder Dragon. I think there was some really good play out of Peace Wheezy with the buffered bombs to make sure that Leaves could not get through with the lack of vision. He made sure there was one bomb on the ground for him to pick up, immediately slapped him with the other for the stun to stop the snowball from coming through. And then they got this Elder Dragon, Golden Fusion, and the power of the buff. What was going through your folks' heads as you had to navigate this late game scenario where they get this powerful buff and the Golden Fusion to sort of stymie your advances?
That was an incredibly tense moment of the game, and I'm glad that you brought it up. Going into fighting at Baron, Baby correctly recognized that they could not possibly walk into our choke point, and we did a very good job of like playing to that and preventing them from walking in. What they did do, however, is delay our Baron long enough that Elder was going to spawn, and that was a miscalculation on our part, because we were just saying, Elder's in a minute, we can get this Baron, and then we can recall like one person. We'll have the empowered recall at like 45 seconds. We'll be able to walk to the dragon, no problem. And so there's this very tense moment where we finish the Baron and we go, oh shoot, do we have time to stop this Elder? And the answer is no, but we're not sure. So we face check into them. Unfortunately, Leaves ends up giving his life, and we have to immediately flash out. But again, credit to our team's discipline, because literally the moment we see the Elder run down, all 5 of us just yell, run, 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 and then we book it out of there and manage to save the game, so we don't lose.
Yeah, a less disciplined team might have just been like, oh, we got the gold lead, let's flip it, let's go. And the thing about that is, you just got Baron, you got 300 gold to spend. Why don't you head back, fill the wall, empty the wallets rather, fill the inventory, and take the fight when it's more advantageous. So yeah, very smart, as you say, for your team to recognize a losing scenario. Hey, didn't play out the way we had hoped. We cut our losses, we'll come back around, and then you folks end up playing out smartly this end of the game, coming back and ending up with a W in the end. So this is a pretty big scenario for us at the top of the table, taking the win away from Baby. We do have the UB matchup coming up later. What are your thoughts about the top of the table right now and how things are going in this tie scenario as we round out the season?
I think that it speaks to the quality of teams in this league that the top of the standings has been so close thus far. When I established this team, I went in with an expectation that we would be first seed, and that was demonstrably not true, right? UB and Team Beep Boop have been incredible opponents to play against. Looking forward, looking at the rest of the matches for this week, I suspect that UB is going to secure themselves their first place spot, but I'm still hopeful for a TDE bye in second place. I personally would love the 3-way tie, but to be honest, I just don't see it happening. Regardless of what happens, I cannot wait for playoffs proper. I think it's going to be incredible.
Oh yeah, I think as I was saying earlier in my interview with Crims, I mean, this is a team for Art of War Esports that really only started waking up in the second half of this season, and the scoreboard doesn't accurately reflect what I think is the power level of this team right now. And so yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how things are going to shake out here as we get into the playoffs and see how some of these matchups turn out when the chips are down. So Zen, thank you so much for this interview. Very in depth. I appreciate you talking so deeply about the stuff from your team. Before we step away, though, I do want to give you your opportunity for any final thoughts, any shout outs, any banter to leave with us on the desk.
I got nothing. Stay tuned for later today. You'll hear my lovely voice joined by the wonderful Chris Sunga as we close out the rest of the matches tonight. I cannot wait to see the Cat Boys, who so graciously cast my game today. I'm looking forward to watching them and judging them a little bit. I hear that we might have a spicy draft, but I'm not sure. So cannot wait to see what that looks like.
Hell yeah! Well, this I guess I should read the the call sheets a little more closely because I did not realize that. So I'll see you very soon over in the caster desk. But for this interview, folks, that's gonna be it from Zenzen and I. We're gonna take a short break, but as he says, we're gonna be back. You're gonna see us very soon as Sunga joins us on the caster desk for Game 3 with the Cat Boys. So we look forward to seeing you very soon. Don't go too far.
Constantly changing, always rearranging, always rearranging, always rearranging. That is constantly changing.